Next, they had a prayer, and anyone who wanted to be prayed over would go up to the front and talk to the minister about what they wanted to be prayed over, and then the church would pray over those people. And then, sorry, I wrote it down so I wouldn't forget this time. And then at the end of the service, they altar call, which is where people get really into worship and what was preached, and they kind of discuss what happened throughout the service. And then this is where people get really intense. Like, I thought that the singing and stuff was intense, but this is like really intense. It's where people just cry and dance and jump and scream because they feel the Lord and the Spirit in them. And it's very intense because you have some people over here joyous and jumping and just really excited, and you have some people crying and really upset, but it's because they feel the Lord. It's not that they're like upset at the church or something that was said. They're just like really feeling it in the moment. And this is where they did start speaking in tongues. It is something they do. It's not just a stereotype like I thought. They do speak in tongues. And my friend Melody, she has been in the church, the Pentecostal church, for 2 years now. So she's fairly new to it as well, but she's really loved it and getting adjusted to it, and she feels like she's a part of the community now. And she said that you don't understand when people are talking in tongues. I thought it was like maybe like the Harry Potter, like talking in parcel tongue, like like the snakes knew his language. I thought maybe other Pentecostals knew what they were saying in their tongues, and it was just like foreign to everybody else. But it's not. Apparently, they're just saying what the Lord, they're feeling the Spirit, and that's what's coming out of them. But they don't even really know what they're saying. They just kind of say what words and sounds come out of them, but it just doesn't really translate to anything. No one else really knows what it means. They just know that they're like feeling God and feeling the Spirit go through them. And that's about it. I enjoyed the service. It definitely was different from anything I experienced because my church, I feel like we did worship songs and stuff, but like I said, it was very calm. People sometimes sang, people were very quiet, sometimes people raised their arms, but there was no running or jumping or getting really excited about it. It was just kind of something we did, go through the motions. They didn't take communion there, and we do take communion every single week, so that was something different too. And like I said, the clothes were definitely a shock after like wearing them and just getting used to being appropriate for going to that church was definitely different. And then it was really different to see at the end how they prayed over the people and how the people reacted to feeling the Spirit, because that's something we don't talk about in church very much when I was a kid. Like, you talk to God in your prayers and you talk to God in kind of your own way. But I'd never really heard about people sharing what they talked about to God, or like vocally saying that they were feeling the Spirit or just showing that emotion. And that was definitely something that when I was watching, it kind of makes you nervous because I wasn't expecting that. I was expecting to be quiet, and then you hear the people jumping and screaming and saying stuff that you don't understand, and it's just like, oh my goodness, what's going on? But, afterward, it's really not that different. They're just expressing it in different ways than I had ever seen. And I really enjoy getting to go to this because now I get to experience what my best friend experiences every week, which is something totally different from what I am from the outside. But then you go inside and you're like, wow, there are definitely some similarities and there are some differences, but it's all religion. It's all celebrating God and worshiping, but it's just how they do it is a little bit different. So I really enjoyed getting to go and experience something different and see how she lives every week.